10 seconds. All right, we're here. We're on. Welcome back to What's Up, Doc. My name is Doc Durden, and let me tell you, we have a special guest here today, and you all know him if you've been to Virginia City. He's very, very well known, as well as the compadres that he walks with, and they're called the commissioners. We have Dennis Dew, aka Wyatt Earp. And let me tell you, there ain't a finer Wyatt Earp that I know of. And of course, with Mike Milius, there's not a finer Doc Holliday than Mike Milius. And also with Mike Bell, he's also played Virgil, all right, not a better Virgil. And they all starred in Gunfight at the OK Corral and Revisited. And let me tell you, these guys are golden, absolutely golden. But before we get to Dennis, I do have the sponsors I have to take care of, and so let's take care of that right now. And I want to start out with the Wynema Ranch. How important the Wynema Ranch is to all of us in Nevada. It's a sanctuary for wild Mustangs, and this is quite an endeavor for Eddie and Shari. Shari is the lead, as I've been told by Eddie, on the Wynema Ranch, and she's just an awesome lady. She just spends so much time, and the love and the passion that she has with the horses that she cares for is just unbelievable. And of course Eddie does too. And then there's the volunteers that do show up occasionally. How wonderful is that? And I love the volunteers. They just help out so much. And there's a way that you can help out too. And I want you to go to Wynema.com, WynemaRanch.com, WynemaRanch.com. And there's a spot in there where you actually donate and help out because there's a considerable amount of money to go ahead and run the Wynema Ranch with the feed and the care that it takes to operate Wynema Ranch, and also with the care of the horses. I know I had 7 horses at one time at the Triple D Ranch, and the feed alone was $600 a month, and it's just, and that was just the feed. That doesn't count the care. Also with the horses that I had, and these are Mustangs. So if you do find that page, you don't have to donate a lot of money, 50, 100. That money is good money, absolutely, and we appreciate that. But if you can afford the $5, something like that, it's not a lot of money to you may not think it's a lot of money, but cumulative, $5 here and $5 there, that builds up, and that's a big help to the Wynema Ranch, and it certainly offsets some of the costs that they provide every single day out of their pockets. And also it makes you feel good too. Here you're sponsoring the Wild Mustangs, and you do this with your sponsor fee. Excuse me. And every dollar that's invested in the Wynema Ranch goes directly to the horse, the feed and care of those horses, and also you'll be able to write that off at the end of the year too. So you may want to take a look at that, and you may want to feel good. At least I do, and I feel good actually talking about it. All right. Next thing is that again, I'm the face of Nevada this year. All right, and this is the article. All right, this is the article from the Reno Tahoe magazine. Reno Tahoe magazine this year is best magazine right there. 2020 this year, Reno Tahoe magazine best magazine for 2020. How cool is that? Now, if you of course pull up their page, that little advertising thing's only about like that. No, I blew it up so y'all can see it. And of course, I'm very, very proud of that spot. And thank you very much, Reno Tahoe magazine. And And let's go next to our next sponsor right here is the Great Basin Magazine. All right, has a huge publication. The last, with Cameron Hopkins, publisher. And I guess it gets out to, I don't know, 180 countries, I've been told. So this magazine really gets out there. And I happen to be on the front cover the last 3 months. And also I got the back cover, and we'll talk about that next. And also I got the inside page right here. And I guess this is my page anyway. No matter what happens, I guess I'll be writing articles on this page right here. So I'll be y'all look forward to the next issue, and maybe I'll have something to say. I hope that'll be great. All right. Then next thing is that my friend Sandy Lene, I got to talking to her a couple of years ago, and this is kind of like when we first met. And she says, this is her word. She says, Doc, you're the most interesting man I've ever met. I'd like to write your biography. And of course, she's Nevada's author. And I said, yeah, let's do that. I think that'd be a good thing. So here it is, right here. It's been out now, I guess, right around a year. And of course, we have amendments now because there's a lot that's been happening the last year or two. And I'd like to be able to tell you about all the things that's developed in the last year or two, which quite a bit. So if you go to my webpage, which is docdurden.com, it's a huge webpage. Cameron Hopkins himself developed that page for me, and it's probably one of the best pages I've ever had. As far as web pages go. So there's a lot of information there, and no matter what you click on, it's always going to bring you back to this book right here. So if you do purchase it, it'll take you about 45 seconds to read it, and you'll be done, and you'll be happy. All right, and of course the other sponsors coming from Southern California. I'm involved with a new studio that's a $300 million studio. And right now I'm president of public relations to 128 countries, and I'm very, very proud of that. And that was kind of like a unanimous decision too with the board. So I feel very, very proud about that too. And you're going to hear more about that coming up. Yep, I just heard my music right here. So good timing, because I'm done. And we're going to be right back with Dennis Stew. All right, welcome back. Just in time. All right, this is What's Up, Doc. My name is Doc Durden, and my VIP guest today, Dennis Stew, a.k.a. Wyatt Earp. And there's not a finer Wyatt Earp. I've known Dennis for many years, and he is not only is he great at what he does, he's one heck of a gentleman too. If you meet him, you're not going to forget him. That's just the nature of the game right here. So what we're going to do right now, I know nothing about him on his where he grew up and everything, and I think it'd be fun to find out where you grew up and where you ended up and why. So. Welcome to the show, Dennis, and I'm gonna give it the ball to you, and let me know where you grew up at.
Well, I was born somewhere in the 50s, and we lived. My parents lived in Sacramento, actually, the city of Sacramento, and the 62nd Street for about I guess for about 2 years. Maybe even less than that, maybe a year after I was born. And then
You were born very young.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Yes, I was. Anyway, so they went ahead and decided to move to Rancho Cordova, new housing tract and stuff like that. I guess that's the reason why they moved out there. Start out fresh, I guess, and moved out there in '55, and I've went through the school system and all the way up to the high school, and then went from there to college and stuff, and then I went ahead and
Still in Sacramento with the college?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was at AR for a while, and then I went over to Sac City. I took some administrative justice courses and stuff, and
Oh, good.
so I tested all over the place, for a position in law enforcement, and got my chance basically with the Yolo County Sheriff's Department, and so I've been connected with them for approximately probably about 10 years or whatever like this, So
Now, you still active with them as far as
No.
connection? No.
No,
But
no.
at the time,
Yeah.
you were in law enforcement,
Yeah.
and then that continued for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So you didn't know that, did you?
No.
I didn't. Yeah. All right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, afterwards I've taken up, I do sports officiating for GSSA and NCOA, softball for high school girls, and girls fast pitch weekends, and amateur adult.
And what capacity? You coaching?
Umpire.
Umpire.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. It does sometimes, where the fact, if they don't see what I see and everything, they think that I made the wrong call.
Sure.
Sometimes,
Yep.
and that does happen and everything like this, and you just have to overlook it.
You
They have
continue
to
on.
overlook it
Yeah.
because it's the way it is,
Yeah.
because their position is my position, and so I'm the one that makes the last call.
Right.
So that's it there. So, and I've been doing that for probably about close to 18 years.
Really?
Yeah,
Good for
so,
you.
yeah. Except for this year, we started out, and usually I do about 40 games for high school, and I ended up doing 11.
11. Yeah.
And then for the slow pitch amateur adults and stuff, I usually do probably over 100 games for the season, and I did 3.
So is it a bigger league with slow pitch than it is with regular high school softball, or what's the difference? You said 40 for one team, and then there's 100 for another team.
Well, it's basically your duration for high school is from beginning of March to the middle of May, and then the playoffs. And that finishes out May.
Yeah.
So that's the latter part just before they graduate. And then for the tournament girls, weekend tournament girls, basically they start like in January, end of January, and they go all the way till middle of November. And then same thing with the slow pitch amateur adults. They'll go about the same time.
Oh, the same
straight
time.
across, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get a couple months off.
Yeah.
To rest.
I was involved with Little League, from 9-year-old to 12-year-old, that whole league, whether it be AAA or majors, and of course my job was manager, but occasionally I had to get in there and umpire because for whatever reason the umpire would be busy, and every once in a while I didn't like it. I did like it because the reasons that you alluded to. It wasn't my expertise, but we had to fill in once in a while.
Oh,
but I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's tough because no matter what call, the opposite teams, they're not liking it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it's like you're there. You conduct the game. You're the one that keeps the pace of the game.
Yes.
And everybody follows through with that, and everything's fine. It doesn't happen that often that you get little discrepancies here and there and stuff, It's
Sure.
Sometimes, that with the angle that they're seeing it from a dugout, basically, where I'm seeing it right behind the plate.
Exactly right.
Is way different.
Yeah.
Sometimes way different. That's the way they try to explain it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a fact of making the decision, and then that's it.
That's it.
Play ball.
Play ball.
Yeah.
Off we go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So from baseball, before we get into your what you do today, your reenactment, your Western heritage, where that started. After softball with the girls. Did you do anything else?
I do a little bit of security work
Security. Okay.
for
Yeah.
a friend of mine. Basically, that's more of a part time than the softball is.
Yeah.
And except for lately, we've done some pretty heavy stuff and everything as far as scheduling and stuff, because construction site came up, and that we catered this one restaurant, basically, because they've asked for our assistance and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, just dabbling in that too.
And you continue to do that to this day, do you not?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
In fact, I had 6 graveyards straight in a row, basically right over the weekend here, supposedly till today. And
Wow.
So last Tuesday they gave me the call and says they've finished the job and stuff like that. So there goes your 6 days of 8-hour graveyards.
Yeah.
So which is fine, it's perfect, because then when you came up, when you went ahead and told me the date that you wanted to be here.
Yeah.
That was one of the last shining lights, and the other shining light was the weather.
Yeah,
because the weather was supposed to hit here instead of up north, and hit up north instead.
Yeah.
So I was pretty
well, actually,
pretty happy about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As it turned out, he was scheduled for December 7th, and I won't be here for the 7th and the 14th. So and so I had to reschedule him, and so I had a cancellation on this day. So I asked him. I said, Dennis, how about doing? I have to cancel, December 14th because I'll be in Vegas, but. I have an opening on the 23rd, and as it turned out, his job finished, and he was available. So that's the reason why we have him here today. Yeah. And thank you very much for it wasn't spur of the moment, but yeah, it was. And but thank you for being here. And also, the weather cleaned up because it was supposed to be kind of snowy and everything, but it all went north, didn't it? Yeah. So it kind of cleared up for you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got to do. I have to, when I come over the hill there and stuff, I have to judge what the weather condition, especially in the wintertime, because not having the facility to make it over that hill, and even though, if you give me get even deeper snow and stuff, they're closing that road.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to,
But not only coming over, you have to look in advance going back.
That too,
yeah, exactly. So you have to have kind of like a clear weekend before you even attempt to come over the top. I used to be in the same boat. I lived in Pine Grove, California, and that was Highway 88. And that's a beautiful road, but it's one lane, and it's kind of twisty and turny. And I had to look, during the winter, I usually went to Southern California. I spent the weekends in Southern California because of the connections that I did have down there, and that was with the real cowboys, and we did a lot of parades and things. But during the spring, summer, and fall, it was Virginia City, and so when the weather changed, I had to look at the weather very, very closely of going over and coming back, and I got stuck one time. Well, I had to be there because I was the ambassador to the state fair, and I had to be there, and it was snowing, so I had to rent a 4x4. And thank goodness for that, because I took the I think Highway 50, and it really started to snow when I got to Tahoe. And but that 4-wheel drive, it worked out wonderfully well, and I was able to get to my destination. But that only happened that one time. But I had to be there, otherwise I would not have been there. So now that's been said. We're getting close to a break here, but. You got into the Western world. Why in the heck would you want to get into the Western world? What prompted you to put on a cowboy hat?
Basically, I have to go ahead and blame Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, that's a good person to blame.
Early 60s, watching Rawhide, and then he went and moved into the spaghetti westerns and stuff, and then I was miffed.
All right, this is very good. This is the start, and we have to go to break. But this is a good time. So now we're finding out why he made that move. And come on back. All right, Dennis Dew is our VIP guest today. All right, we're out, but we're still live Facebook. What better person? And, of course, when I was growing up, I watched everything that Republic was putting out. They were putting out, movie after movie after movie, and I think we discussed that earlier. But I started with Knott's Berry Farm. I don't know if you ever got involved with that.
No, never did.
Yeah.
You mean the actual Knott's Berry Farm in Southern California?
The actually Knott's Berry Farm, jams and jellies. The Jams and Jelly Company.
I went there one time with my parents. So we decided to take a little trip, and so we wanted to visit our cousins and aunt and uncle and stuff. Which the cousins weren't there, but aunt and uncle was there. And so we went from there, and we went to Disneyland, and then we went to Knott's Berry Farm.
There you go.
And sitting on that train with all the excitement in the world, because I'm a train fan.
Yeah.
Basically, I like my trains, and so anytime that I get a chance to get on a train, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but anyway, we.
Do you remember what year that was? Because I'm going to come back with the same story.
65.
65. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was 1965. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I got the bite,
Yep.
for westerns and stuff. I've seen them all my life and stuff. My mom used to have them on TV all the time. She also had football on TV all the time. She always had baseball on. She had favorite football teams.
Sports person, really? Yeah.
My dad had no interest whatsoever in sports at all.
But your mother?
Yeah, it was amazing. So I've been watching football since I was a little bitty guy.
Yeah,
probably still crawling on the floor. And she had that on.
Yeah, I'm sure she was a hardcore, a sports person. She would have their teams, and she'd be down there, in the dugouts with them, right?
Yeah. A figure of speech, yeah.
I've met several, hardcore, sports enthusiasts. Well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't have to be one, but getting back to your, Knott's Berry Farm story, I did the same thing, and this is when Disneyland was like a year or two old. So we're coming back. All right, so maybe we'll finish that story in the next break. We got 5 seconds. All right, and thank you for tuning in. Love you. All right, we are back, and this is What's Up, Doc. My name is Doc Durden, and my special guest today is none other than Dennis Dew, a.k.a. Wyatt Earp, and there ain't a finer, in my opinion, of course, there ain't a finer Wyatt Earp, and he starred in Gunfight at the OK Corral, Revisited, and to this day, that was a movie that I directed and produced, and to this day, Gunfight at the OK Corral. When I bring up my credits, and of course the credits are best director, best producer, and best script, and that was with and of course we had best movie, and that was Jesse James the Lady. But when I pull up my credits, Jesse James the Lady comes up, and also Gunfight at the OK Corral. So I'm assuming that when I got those credits, the best director and best producer, that included both those movies, because they were done like a month apart, and they were for advertising. To advertise the Wild West show that I was going to have in 1999, okay, that we were advertising for, and this is just to show the personalities that were going to be at the Wild West show, and how talented these people are. So getting back to Dennis with his story about He went to Disneyland. He went to Knott's Berry Farm and loved the trains. He got stimulated there, and that's kind of like where we left off. So now you're on the train and you're loving everything. So now what happened?
Well, I mean, being on the train and everything, there's a purpose for that train. It was a train that was going to get robbed.
Yes.
And so that was pretty exciting, to have them coming down the aisle.
How old were you then?
I was 13, I think.
13.
Yeah,
Okay.
13 years old.
Yeah.
So I think that's where my kickstart was, basically. The spaghetti westerns came out and stuff, and so I wanted to get a hat like Clint Eastwood and stuff, But I found this one hat that I could afford at the time over there at Rayleigh's.
Oh, yes.
And it was all felt hat, but it had a flat brim. It was brown with a flat brim. Really looked pretty nice and stuff, So I still have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
What I do basically, I'd be so enthused about, all this and stuff. I go ahead and I was on the swim team. I swam, and so I was on the swim team and stuff, So I have to ride my bike. So I rode my bike basically, but I wore my hat.
Wore your hat.
Yeah,
that boy.
Probably good.
Love it.
Probably. I don't know how long I wore that hat for, but probably maybe a year or something like that. But yeah, every time I got on my bike, I wore that hat.
Good for you. Good for you.
So anyway, so I still have the hat. It's like 55 years. 55-year-old hat. It's
Wow.
still in good condition.
Still in good condition.
It's stacked up with the rest of the other hats that I have.
Yeah. Just to give you an example of what he's talking about as far as houses, hats that you can afford. The hats that me and him are wearing right now are $300, all right? And they go $300 plus. So that just goes to show you.
Mine's a little more because it's 100% beaver.
Well, that's the one you have made up, or
the hat that I usually wear, the actual Wyatt Earp hat, basically for the era, basically it was $300. But I'm getting another hat.
Right, currently.
Make it, for another 100% beaver like this one here.
Yeah, and that's
in that style.
Yeah, and that's a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's by our good friend in Virginia City, Pascal. Anyway, Pascal, he's the hat maker in Virginia City. He's going to be a guest here in February, the second week of February, and another fascinating merchant. And boy, does he pump out the hats? And most of us go to this hat I'm wearing is actually Pascal's hat, and currently. Dennis here is having probably one of the top of the line hats being made by Pascal. So yeah,
like this one here. This is 100%.
Oh, that one's 100% too.
This is a copy from what Kevin Costner wore in the movie Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, I see the crease.
Yeah.
The crease.
But I couldn't wear it today because Pascal had my hat, so he can model it off for my other beaver hat that I'm going to
keep it the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue on with your fascination with the West, and now you're a swimmer, and you spent the last year riding your bike with your cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, I just continued to enjoy the westerns, because they were so popular in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, so bad and stuff like this. I mean, you couldn't turn a channel without seeing a western. So I was joining them, and then of course at the time I couldn't afford or wasn't allowed to go to the movies yet and stuff, So when I was old enough, I'm not sure how old I was to be able to be allowed to go to the movies and stuff, I was able to see. They still had the three main spaghetti westerns on theater that I was able to go and see. It was called the Clint Eastwood Spectacular or something like that.
Sure.
So I went to the 49er drive-in basically, and sat there all by myself, with my popcorn and stuff like that, and watched all three.
Yes.
Starting at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening till almost 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And I was wide awake for all those. Actually, there was 4 of them because Hang 'em High was in there too.
Now see, that's an amazing feat in itself. Me, I probably would have fell asleep as much as I love especially back then. I probably would have fell asleep, but good for you. Yeah.
I think I was so can't wait to see it and stuff like that. It just intrigued me so much and stuff.
All that adrenaline's going.
What's coming up next?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that kept me awake.
Kept you awake. That's the main thing. So now you're all involved with the movies, and you know what's happening, and the shootouts here and the shootouts there, and of course you're loving all that, as most of us did when we were growing up looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
So continue on with that.
Well, as I got older and stuff, when I got old enough to purchase a shooting iron, there was a place in Sacramento called Sims Hardware. They had everything. They had all their used weaponry, basically rifles, mostly long guns, basically. They had them all right there, all lined up, on the little stand there and stuff like that. On each side, about 4 rows of all these guns.
Wow. And when you talk about 4 rows, you're talking 50, 100, 150?
I would say, between 150 and 175.
Wow. Yeah.
There was a lot, and they were the to-go place to get whatever weapon you wanted. And I just happened to show up the day that let's see, I can't remember what was his name. Bianchi, John Bianchi. He was there. He was promoting something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But that was like in the mid 70s or early 70s, I think. And so I got a chance to talk to him. Nobody was around him and stuff. I don't know if anybody knew him or something like that.
I don't think they know.
Because I knew him because because I was interested in his leather work and stuff. Right. It was great leather work. So I went up and talked to him and stuff, and he says, let me show you. I want to show you something. He says, wait a minute. So he pulls out the little padded thing that you put on the counter there, to protect the weapon. Yeah. And he brought out this 1875 nickel 7.5 inch revolver with the ivory grips. Set it down on there, He says, "Do you know who that gun belonged to?" And I said, "Not really." And he says, "That belonged to Frank James." What? So he went and handed me a pair of white gloves because he had a pair of white gloves on. Right. He says, "I'll go and let you handle that." And I looked at it and said, "Oh my gosh, you're kidding me," And I was starting to revolve myself in the history and stuff and everything like that, So that came across and stuff. After that, I started looking around for a weapon for myself, and had this guy, one of the other counter guys and stuff. He was really, really nice. I think I went in there a different time, I think, and he was all about explaining anything and everything I want to know about any gun that they had on stock and stuff. So there was this one weapon that was called the Hammerelli. Swedish made gun, And so he went ahead and pulled that out and put it on the counter, and he pulled out a Colt revolver in its likeness, basically. And he says, "Let me tell you the difference between the two, but it's up to you because Colt is the popular one. So Colt is going to be a little more expensive, which it was. This other weapon was like about $225, I think, $225, whatever." So he went in and picked that up, and he says, "Well, here's the difference between the two. We've got. You go ahead and."
Let me stop you right there. We're going to another break.
Okay.
And now we're talking about guns. All right, come on back. All right. Finish too.
Yeah. That was pretty interesting and stuff,
Yeah. Well, then we'll finish up on that story, and then we'll go into what you're doing right now, the reenactments, and how you're dressed, the way you dress to this day, and the experiences that you've had. Mm-hmm. And by the time that happens, we're going to run out of time, I know. But that's good, and this is an excellent show for you. So thanks. You're doing a good job.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
You're doing a good job. A lot of the stuff that you're talking about that I knew nothing about. I've known you, for a little bit now, and didn't know it.
I've known you for about like 14 years.
Yeah, exactly, and I didn't. And so here, 14 years later, on a talk show, I'm getting getting to know you.
Yeah.
Of course, that's kind of like par.
Oh yeah,
how it goes.
That is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because we all get so busy and stuff,
Yeah.
and then we don't, you're up here and I'm down there and stuff,
Yeah.
so we don't get that much time to, get a chance to converse a lot.
And we kind of know what each other's doing currently, but the history, 20, 30 years ago, I've for the most part have kept a lot of that, to myself, private. It's just every once in a while, well, it's in the book. Anyway, it's in the book. Otherwise, most people didn't know that. I was very, very involved in music back then, recording. As a matter of fact, my biggest, my biggest client is Tim Murphy, and it's that poster in the corner over there.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Murphy, this, big package, a whole package. He had everything. He had the looks. He had the voice. He had the vocals, I should say, and he had stage presence that second to none. And I got him signed Big Seven Entertainment. In Amador County. Amador County, yeah. No, what's the Calaveras County? Dennis, who owns that studio, Calaveras County. Yeah, and that's where the frog jumps are, right? So I was involved with music. I did music resumes for bands, rock and roll bands. So I set up, the cameras, and I filmed, their show, and mainly, a client wanted to know, okay, what do you guys look like? What do you sound like? Well, they take that DVD and they send it to them. So it worked out great. It was wonderful until the iPhone, came out, and then they were able to, do their own video. So that kind of, I slowed up on that quite a bit, but yeah. All right, we're coming back.
To join the conversation, call 844-790.
5 seconds.
That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
All right, here we are. Thanks for coming back. All right, this is What's Up, Doc. My name is Doc Durden, and my VIP guest today, Dennis Du, aka Wyatt Earp. We're just covering his first exposure to a sidearm and one gun I never heard before, and then of course the Colt. And then after we talk about that, we're going to go right into Dennis today, what he does today, and this is going to be very interesting. All right, finish up on the gun story.
Well, anyway, so he picked up the Hammerelli and stuff like that. He went ahead and said, okay, just me holding everything, try to move the cylinder. And I couldn't move the cylinder; it was tight.
Mm-hmm.
So he picked up the Colt and he says, try to move that cylinder. And there was some play. And then same thing when the dropped the hammer back. Same thing. There's a little bit of play in the Colt and nothing in the Hammerelli. And you look down the barrel, glass smooth. You look down the cylinders, glass smooth and stuff, And he says, well, it's up to you. You want to go for the Colt, or because they'll probably go up in price later on, stuff
Sure.
like that, or you want to go ahead and buy this Hammerelli, the more efficient one. Because they wanted to make a gun revolver better than Colt. That's what their goal was.
Okay.
So I bought the Hammerelli.
Do you still have that one?
No, I had to sell it.
Okay.
I had to sell it. It was in the one of
Because
those
I like to have
times where
seen
it was
that,
tight.
yeah.
Oh, I know. I wish I was able to get that back and stuff, but I don't know if there's anything like that anywhere.
No.
I
Yeah.
looked up on gun sites and stuff like that, and I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've got rid of the Salmonelli, and this man here is dressed just like Wyatt Earp. He's just just a great looking guy, and he does the Wyatt Earp thing better than anybody. And what made you get into being Wyatt Earp?
Well, I was trying to go around figure out a character that I wanted to be, and So the group that I was with, the leader of the group says, well, why don't you just call yourself Shorty? So I kept that Shorty, basically, if I wore the brown outfit with the badge and stuff, I'd be Shorty McRae.
Okay.
When I wore the black and white and everything like that, I just went ahead and just figured out that I could probably do a Wyatt Earp and see what happens.
Sure.
So I got all the essentials.
Good decision.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the essentials and stuff, and luckily, the way I felt, basically, it was working out pretty much for me and stuff, And then I got interested in the history, and it just rolled from there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And buying the wardrobe and stuff, I mean, whenever I could afford it and stuff like that, I get just a little piece, I get a vest, or I get a shirt, or if I was bold enough, I get a pair of boots or something like that, and just kind of put the stuff together and stuff, and then watch film, primarily because since Kurt Russell was so popular in the movie Tombstone, that I kind of emulated his gun style, wearing the way they had him wear it and stuff, So I have two different ways. I usually do the cross belts, basically, with the butts out on the guns, and I wanted to make sure I get the nickel, the nickel with the ivory grips on it and stuff, so they look more obvious. Or sometimes I would go ahead and wear a regular sidearm where it doesn't fit. It just with the butts in the back, basically, and then I put another belt over it, basically, and then butts sticking out that way and stuff. They're both left-handed.
A little footnote here
Yes.
is when you talk about putting together an outfit, and it does. In other words, you just can't put anything together. There's a certain process that you have to go through. And what he is wearing today, and what I'm wearing, is anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. All right, this is not cheap. A look. It costs you a few dollars to look the way we do. But
this is not a Halloween get-up.
Yeah, no.
This is the store and spend it just for Halloween night, and that's the last time you wear it.
No, this is a commitment.
Yeah.
In other words, you just can't go into it for for a weekend. No. This is pretty much a lifelong commitment. I got myself. I got $30,000 just in costumes, and I could be anybody at any given time. But for me, this is the look that I chose, and he also chose the same look, and this is the biggest bang for the buck for us. And I know we work it well. We've create the attention that we need to do, and especially the tourists that come into Virginia City, and he's no stranger to that. So let me hear about now that you're in costume, and now that you feel good about yourself, and you're up in Virginia City, and so how does that make you feel?
Well, I'm not a big fan of calling it costume. I call it a period attire.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
But I mean that they can. That's all right. This is just my personal.
Sure. No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. But anyway, just going out there and walking around and stuff. I'm able to develop a demeanor, basically, from my law enforcement days of carrying that persona over there to the character of Wyatt Earp. So the stance, the look, the gesture, pointing the finger or something like that, or whatever,
Sure.
I've already got that all down before I even got the outfit on. Before I had any interest in putting the outfit on.
Okay.
So
interesting. Yeah. I developed it with the costume. With the outfit. Outfit would be probably the better word, which it is.
Yeah.
With the outfit that we do wear, I become whoever I'm wearing, But you did it just the opposite. You became Wyatt Earp before you even had a stitch on. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Because I just went in through lawman back in my head again, and I went ahead and carried it on from there, and the outfit, fit the look, and So I felt pretty comfortable with that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so it's anybody's opinion basically. If they see me walking the streets and stuff, you know, to go ahead and make their own opinion about, you know, my stature.
Well, and you're absolutely right. You know, and for the most part, you are a Wyatt Earp. Most people are going to get that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I've been you know, Wild Bill Hickok for years and years and years, and it started out 20 years ago when I first got to Virginia City. When I first stepped on C Street, they go, hey, there's Wyatt Earp. Hey, Wyatt Earp. Hey, Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp. And of course, you know, the pictures come out and everything, and that went on and on and on. So I adopted what better, you know, for me, what better historical character than Wild Bill Hickok. So I've been that for years and years and years. Even though as history would dictate, you know, he died at 30, and I'm 32, so I'm a little bit older than what you know, he died. But anyway,
that's again this year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just want to make sure.
But where I'm getting at is that you know, you look like you look like Kenny Rogers. You look like see the singer with the long braids and everything.
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. Well, and it goes
Waylon
on.
Jennings.
Yeah, it goes on and on and on.
Ronnie Millsap or any
Yeah,
of those.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, I've never got offended with that. Whatever you see, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you stand with it too.
And that's what I followed, you know, because if it wasn't working, basically, you know, I have to think of something else. I go back to Shorty McRae.
Yeah.
You know, Marshall Shorty McRae or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? And then I've dressed as a regular cowboy and stuff, and I get good reviews with that.
Yes.
And also to first time a couple of years ago that I dressed as one of the Pinkertons.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
I didn't have a name for that
Yes,
yet. You know,
yes.
the rest of the other two guys had the name for it, and I didn't.
You did. Yeah.
But what I wanted to show you here is the postcard of us and you.
Oh, yes.
See that?
This is actually
That's
at
the painting that was on the wall on the cafe on the
Canvas
Cafe. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right. How cool is that?
And they still have it over there. They still have it. They're still selling it.
And it's actually for sale, I believe. Yeah.
Well, I asked them about the painting that wasn't on the wall anymore. And she says, "Well, we're doing like rotation of paintings and stuff, you know. But I'm sure we still have that. We still have that painting.
Yeah.
You know, of us. You know, that painting there, and there was another painting too. I'm not sure if you were in that one too. But look at you behind us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that's pretty typical of me. I'm always trailing, and there's a reason why I do that, and they actually capture that. And it's funny that you brought that up.
Yeah.
But that's part of what I do, and there's a reason for that, and I'll talk about that later. But today we're talking about Dennis. All right, cool. I appreciate you bringing that in.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's something else.
Now, when you get to Virginia City, that life-size, the big painting is at the Canvas restaurant, and that's at the extreme north end of Virginia City. On the west side, all right, and please, they have some of the best food. They have the best food, all right. So we're getting on that time that we're going to lose you, and I'm telling you, we got about 5 seconds.
You
and
might have to bring me back.
Yeah, he has to come back, and I'd like to have him back sooner than later. So we're gonna talk about that. But thanks for tuning in. My special guest, VIP Dennis, with AKA Wyatt Earp. All right, they don't get better than that. So thank you for tuning in, and we're still live on Facebook. And thank you, Facebook, for tuning in. And hopefully I'll get this all edited tonight, and I'll be able to, put the edited division tomorrow afternoon sometime. All right. Thank you so much. And of course, we're out on live. All right. Wonderful.